Hi people, Titus here for a quick bug fix video on our camera mini-series project. This will kind of be a part 10 in this tutorial series, but in the last video, we added some life to our game through sound and a health widget. In this one, we'll fix some bugs that have been present in the game for a while. Some of you may have already fixed these, and if you did, see if your code is any different than mine, because there's a lot of different ways to solve these sort of issues that come up. But yeah, let's get into it. The first issue, you'll notice that if I shoot the collider, it detects the bullet as one, and the other issue is we're going to get an error message here. So if you just click on the underlined portion, it'll take you to the problem node. And anytime you have an issue where it has trouble referencing an object that maybe doesn't exist, which in this case, shooting into the bullet being detected caused the event all clear to trigger, but not the event alarm state. So the variable never got created. So it's trying to play something that doesn't exist. So just simply drag off here and do a is valid check. And then you just plug in your whatever object's giving you trouble into the input. And then it'll only run the code if the object exists. So it basically checks to see if it's spawned. So now if we still has that problem, but you notice we don't get any error message. So let's fix the collision problem. That's happening in the camera blueprint. If you notice, we have the begin overlap and the end overlap. On the begin overlap, we're actually checking to see if the actor that overlapped is the actual third-person character. In the end overlap, we're not checking that. We didn't really have a reason to in the beginning, but now that we're playing sounds and doing other stuff, we kind of do. So if we drag off this and do a cast to BP underscore third person character, which is our default player character, we can plug in the other actor output into the object input, and that'll fix our issue where that was shooting through. Now the other issue you'll have with this is if I shoot the camera and disable it, I can still trigger the end event because I am the third person character, so we need a way to stop that. Also, you'll look and notice if we get seen, if I shoot it, the event clears, which is correct, but we're going to break that in a second. So let's take a look. On the begin overlap, we're doing a branch check to see if the camera is already disabled. This will fix our first issue. So if we just simply drag off and do a branch check, and then we'll plug in the is disabled boolean. And then if it is disabled, we don't want to run the code. So we'll plug it into the false. So now, if I disable the camera by shooting it, I can run through the collision and nothing triggers. So that's what we want. But because of that, if I trigger the alarm and I shoot the thing, we're still in an alarm state. It never cleared, and you'll notice it's going to look at me. And now it doesn't care that I'm not in the collision zone. It's going to just basically search for me forever. So we got to fix that. Plus the door's never opened. So, the way to do that, at least I guess a quick and dirty way to do it, is we can just simply run this code inside the you shot me function. But just to make it easier on myself, I don't want to redo all these nodes, so I can just simply select them, right click, and collapse it to a function. And we're just going to call it clear me bro. Because why not? Something easy to remember. So if we compile that, now in the event you shot me, we'll probably want to do it in both the death state and the regular you shot me state, because there is a scenario that could play out where the camera has only 25 health and you triggered the alarm and then you shot it while the alarm was raised. It would destroy the camera and it wouldn't clear it, so you'd want to clear it there too. So I remember clear me bro, that's what I called it. So we can call off the death state and do a clear me bro, And then we can just drag off this guy and do a clear me bro as well. And if we compile and save, now if I trigger the alarm state, the alarm clears, and then the camera should actually return to patrol and not try to track me, even though I'm not even in the collision zone. So that works pretty good. Now if the camera's wounded, whoops, kind of shot it too much there. Oh, there's a reference to our spotlight, so let's do that real quick. So just the same thing, just drag off and is valid, and pop that in there, and that'll address that. But let's also make sure it works on death too. So let's 1, 2, 3. So one more shot and it's gonna die, but let's trigger the alarm. Alarm state is raised, doors closed. There we go. That pretty much fixes most of those bugs. So those were the glaring ones anyways, so I think that should solve the lion's share of them. The other thing I wanted to show you is in the beginning of the series, we did import an asset from the Blueprints project from the Epix Marketplace. And it has this pretty cool view cone. So on the camera system, if you didn't like doing the setup with a spotlight, we can just simply hide that in game, make a reference to our camera, add a component, and we have the view cone as our active object. So it's going to make a reference to it. So we can just hit add static mesh view cone. And what this is it's basically using materials to kind of simulate a light effect. So if we compile and save and play, you get a really cool view cone. It's kind of dark, or I should say it's kind of barely visible, not really light. So we can brighten it up. If we just select it and go into the materials section, we can just do an open. And you can get just a brief look at how they set up this material, which is pretty cool. But they have some values down here that we can just bump up. So we can do this at a -0.5, and we'll bump this to a 1. And then we'll do this to a 0.5. And actually we'll do this. We'll leave that at 0. Save that. All right. Now if we play it, should be a little bit brighter. There we go. There is an issue with it though, is because it's a view cone, like it's literally a static mesh, an object, it has collision. So you notice I'm kind of locked in because it's like a physical object. So it's pushing on me. So you may have to actually go into the object properties, search for collision, and then you can set it, instead of block all dynamic, you can do overlap all dynamic. And then the other thing you might want to do is in the event graph, when we destroy the thing, you might want to drag out a reference to it and also destroy the view cone as well. So now when we hit it, we can walk inside of it. And then when we destroy it, it actually gets destroyed as well. So yeah. Alright people, I'm going to cut it there for this mini-series, but that doesn't mean you can't continue to improve and iterate on this prototype. So feel free to message me below or through my Twitter handle on any cool setups that you managed to come up with during this tutorial series. As always, thanks for watching, stay creative, and we'll see you on the next one.